There's a drawer in Zhongnanhai. No lock, no label, no explanation. It opens once a year, always on the same day. And inside, a single piece of paper, folded with precision, never signed, never seen by anyone except Xi Jinping. It's not in the party archives. It's not in blueprints. And yet, every year, it delivers a message that changes the course of China's leadership. Some believe it's tradition. Others think it's a warning. But what if it's neither? What if the drawer isn't hiding a secret? What if the drawer is the secret? Today, we unfold the story of the only object inside Zhongnanhai that history refuses to log. Stay with us. The drawer that has no key. There's a room inside Zhongnanhai that few people ever enter alone. It's not grand. No red carpets. No oil paintings of past leaders. Just a single desk, a heavy curtain, and a drawer that doesn't match the furniture. The drawer is old, older than the building itself. It's made of dark lacquered wood, with a brass handle that's been polished smooth by generations of hands. There's no lock, no key, but no one opens it, except once a year. And only one person is allowed to pull it open, the General Secretary. Not even his closest aides know what's inside. They're ordered out of the room, the cameras turned off, the door sealed. It happens every June 21st, the summer solstice. Every year, for as long as anyone can remember. Xi Jinping has never spoken publicly about the drawer. But an internal maintenance document leaked in 2019 revealed its codename, Box 101. What's strange is that the drawer itself is not connected to any government system. It's not listed in inventory databases. But it's maintained, dusted, inspected, logged, as if it were a vital state asset. A former intelligence analyst who defected in 2020 claimed something chilling. Box 101 contains one sheet of paper every year. Just one. And each time, it's different. Different handwriting. Different ink. Different paper texture. But always folded the same way. And always burned after reading. Why would a head of state preserve such a ritual? Because, the analyst said, it's not about the paper. It's about the message. Each note reportedly contains one thing, a memory that must not be forgotten. Something the party erased, but someone wanted Xi to remember. One year it was a name. Another, a location. Once, just a date, with no explanation. No one knows who places the note, or how it gets there. Only that it's always waiting. And here's where it gets darker. In 2016, she reportedly tried to remove the drawer. It took 5 hours. Special tools were flown in. Security was doubled. And yet, it wouldn't come loose. Technicians said it wasn't nailed, wasn't glued, wasn't part of the desk's original construction. One engineer called it fused to time. By the end of the day, it was left in place. And the next year, as always, the note was there again. Same fold, same weight, different truth. The note that changed the route. In 2018, Xi Jinping's motorcade was scheduled to take the Chang'an Avenue route, nothing unusual. A standard mid-June drive to a leadership summit on environmental reforms. Roads were cleared. Escorts lined up. Drones were disabled. Standard protocol. But 10 minutes before departure, Xi changed the route. He told no one why. Not even his lead bodyguard was informed until the convoy was already moving. The new route was longer, slower, less secure. It took them past the East Garden Wall of the Forbidden City, a street usually avoided due to crowd density and limited exit paths. Why? A month later, a junior logistics officer leaked internal briefing memos. One line stood out. Deviation initiated following June 21st Box 101 entry. Classified note. Source unknown. Another report referenced a handwritten phrase scrawled across Xi's personal notepad. Do not repeat the 1978 pattern. That phrase made little sense at first, until a senior archivist, under condition of anonymity, suggested a chilling possibility. In 1978, a young mid-level party member took the same route during a rainstorm, was delayed by a civilian protest, and ended up giving an impromptu speech that changed local policy forever. That man later vanished from public record. No photos, no biography, only a vague obituary with no cause of death. And yet, he was once considered a possible rival to Deng Xiaoping. Could the Box 101 note have referenced that incident? Warned Xi not to repeat a route that once changed someone else's fate? Analysts believe so. The note was likely brief. Just a sentence. But potent enough to alter a state leader's course. And that year, the drawer note wasn't burned. Instead, it was placed inside a sealed envelope, hand-marked in red with the character for loop. The envelope was stored, not in Zhongnanhai, but in a facility beneath the National Archives. Its location, unlisted. Its access code, only 4 people are believed to know it. One is Xi. The other 3, unknown. But here's what leaked later. In early 2019, during a closed-door Politburo session, Xi paused mid-sentence, looked out the window, and reportedly whispered, "There are routes no longer drawn on maps. But the drawer still remembers them." The fold that revealed the pattern. By 2020, someone inside Zhongnanhai had begun noticing a strange consistency. It wasn't what the drawer note said, it was how they were folded. Each sheet was bent 5 times. Twice vertically, twice diagonally, once along an asymmetric crease, from upper left to lower middle. At first, it looked random, but a senior archivist noticed that the final shape, when unfolded, formed a map-like structure. And not just any map. It matched the internal layout of Zhongnanhai, circa 1956. That was the year the party began redesigning the compound, sealing off certain tunnels, creating false hallways, and encoding symbolic meaning into architectural flow. In short, a spatial narrative. The archivist created a composite of 7 note folds collected over the past decade. When digitally overlaid, they revealed what looked like a timeline of movement. Not just of Xi, but of his predecessors. Jiang, even Deng. And they all passed through the same coordinates at key moments in their careers. Moments right before policy shifts, purges, or sudden disappearances. This wasn't just a drawer. It was a memory device. Each fold, each line, marked a decision point in party history. She reportedly ordered an internal audit, not of what was in the notes, but of who might have known how to fold them. Origami experts, military encryption theorists, and former theater designers were consulted. One retired intelligence designer admitted, "It's not the content that carries the message. It's the ritual. Repetition creates memory. And memory, in the wrong hands, becomes a mirror." The drawer became more than symbolic. It was now considered a breach vector, a silent leak, a ritual Xi couldn't stop, because stopping it would reveal he feared it. So what did he do? He had a duplicate made, a second drawer, identical in size, age, and texture. It was installed in a decoy office built 3 floors below the real one. Security footage was looped. Guard rotations were staggered. And during the next June 21 ST, the real drawer was never opened. Or so it seemed. But the note still appeared. Folded. Identical. Waiting inside the original drawer the next morning. No fingerprints. No cameras triggered. Just a faint trace of ink, barely visible, along the crease. The phrase, "The decoy is a fold too." The ink that couldn't be detected. In 2021, the party quietly brought in an outside contractor. Not military. Not intelligence. A research team from a university in Shenzhen, experts in forensic spectroscopy. Their mission, analyze the faint traces of ink left on the Box 101 note that appeared after the decoy operation. They worked in total silence. No written reports. Verbal briefings only. And every session was done in an underground lab designed to block EMF leakage. After 3 weeks, their conclusion was bizarre. This ink does not exist in any current Chinese, Russian, or American database. It's not thermal reactive, not UV, not carbon-based. It's mnemonic. When pressed, they clarified. The ink was biological. It responded not to heat, but to proximity to living tissue. Specifically, Xi's tissue. Meaning, the note was invisible to machines. It only revealed its message when he touched it. And only to him. This wasn't just privacy. It was personal encryption. But here's the twist. Further spectral analysis picked up residual patterns not just from the ink, but from Xi's own fingerprints, repeatedly overlapping in the same places across years. The same fingers, the same grip, same fold, which meant one of two things. Xi was folding the notes himself. Someone with access to his body was. That theory chilled the Politburo to its core. An emergency session was held. No phones, no aides. The conversation focused not on national security, but physiological sovereignty. If someone had access to Xi's fingerprint data, or worse, biological samples, they could simulate authenticity, fool the drawer, or worse, the man himself. That year, the party instituted an unheard-of policy. All physical contact with the General Secretary must be mediated by synthetic barrier. No direct handshakes. No sharing of documents. Every surface he touched was sterilized within 60 seconds. They called it Protocol Mirror Hands. And despite the precautions, on June 21, 2022, the drawer still contained a note. Unfolded, blank, except for one phrase etched in raised microtexture, only visible to the touch. What's locked inside you can never be hidden outside. She didn't speak for the rest of the day. He canceled all appointments. And that night, for the first time in his career, he requested to sleep inside Zhongnanhai. Not in his bedroom, but in the office, next to the drawer that will outlive him. By mid-2023, Xi Jinping's inner circle had changed completely. Old advisors were gone. New aides were younger, more compliant, less curious. But there was one thing no one dared to touch. The drawer. Even during cleaning, it was circled in red tape, labeled, "Do not engage." Yet once a year, it opened. And each time, the note was there, like the drawer wasn't an object, but a ritual gateway she couldn't close. That June, however, something was different. Security footage from the night before showed no unusual movement. She arrived alone at 11:52 p.m., left at 3:14 a.m. What happened in those hours wasn't recorded. But the next morning, the note was already unfolded on the desk. Not a single crease. It was as if it had never been folded at all. And on the paper, in Xi's own handwriting, "There is no note this year. I already remember." The message was signed, something never done before, with his personal seal. The drawer wasn't closed that morning. It was left open. By noon, an emergency memo was sent to the party's top logistics office. Immediate replacement of ceremonial furniture. Disposal required. But the removal crew arrived to find the drawer gone. Not removed. Not stolen. Just absent. The desk was intact. No marks, no gaps. As if the drawer had never existed. Later, internal chatter speculated she had finally found a way to end the loop. To free himself from the burden of memory injected once a year. But 3 months later, during a ceremonial tour of a naval facility, something odd happened. A young ensign handed Xi a briefing folder. He opened it. Inside was a single sheet of thick paper. Unfolded. Blank. Xi paused, closed the folder, nodded, and whispered, "It's not the drawer. It's the message that finds you." Since then, no mention of Box 101 has surfaced. But inside a secure archive beneath Zhongnanhai, there's a log. It tracks non-physical message artifacts. And the most recent entry reads, June 21, 2024, delivered successfully, location, within. Some secrets are too heavy to archive, too fragile to digitize, and too personal to destroy. Box 101 may be gone, but memory always finds a way back. If you want more untold stories from inside the silence, subscribe to Hidden Xi, because some truths never need a lock, they just wait for the right hand to open.